It's good. It's your boy Czar, all rights reserved. Now, what I'm about to talk about, it's going to be an extension of course, the Takashi Chronicles, but now we have a new player that's spoken out in a roundabout way. Lil Reese, aka as academics. I don't know why they call him DJ, because he doesn't DJ anything. But academics used to call him, or as he probably still calls him, but doesn't mention a name, he calls him the Grim Reaper. So we seen what's going on with Little Reese, Little Dirk, Chief Keef, and how their pursuit out of Chicago making music has been successful over the years. Now we have a new artist, Takashi 6ix9ine, whose single makes a platinum plat every chance he gets, which really does show that he's appealing to the nature of what we see going on in New York, what we see going on in his gang territory, and what we see going on with the movement Treyway. Now, Lil Reese made a simple, easy remark that how can people tell someone else they're good somewhere they're not? So essentially, what he's saying is it's not a shot at his guys, I don't think, but what he's doing is in a way subliminally letting 6ix9ine know there's no way you could say you're good anywhere, being that, hey, you know what I mean, you're talking to a bunch of guys who are elsewhere, but I'm right here and I'm telling you you're not good. In a sense, it's that simple. It's not a threat, it's just a notification to what I said yesterday, that that may not be where he wants to go, because whoever says he's good, I don't know. Also, we seen him talking to P. Rico, another major figure in opposition to the whole GBE movement and everything. That, you know, he was making side comments about possibilities of things that can happen to him coming there, but also he said he'd probably be good with him there. Now, this is gonna reignite the war in Chirac. It's going to take it back to the same status that it was before Chief Keef really blew up and left the city. It's not good for Tekashi. This is because now you got multiple people speaking. Also, Lil Durk showed disapproval in some comments you made, directly referring to Lamron. And if anyone knows anything about the whole GBE movement, 300, 600, the Lamron thing, that is the street they grew up on. People gave their life for that. And his comments towards that were slightly derogatory. Well, that hits everyone because the people they lost were friends of them all. They grew up with them. So it's people that they seen since they were yay high, but they were all together. But then ultimately, it turned out to be something else. So that itself takes away the whole ideology of what it means for their clique to be in the position they are. This is a very scary thing because now, just like people have mentioned, every time Lil Reese drops someone's name, and if they were in Chicago, something happened. And that's just what it is. It's not being speculatory. It's not alleging nothing. It just happened. Anyone that beefed with him, that was in the situation in Chicago, things didn't go well for him. And that's majority of people. I'm not saying everyone, because there's a few that he mentioned I still see around, but majority of people. So this is a very dark situation now, just as I presumed it would be. The thing is about Chicago is so large, but that's just the bad part about it. Yes, that could work in your favor for you to move around comfortably, but at the same time, it's so large and you're such a big superstar being Tekashi 6ix9ine that moving around this city now is going to attract all types of attention. The fact is such a big place. Do you know how many people would love to make a name off of doing something to Tekashi? Being what he talks about, what he says, it's just not looking good. And Lil Reese's let's say slight comment, even though it may seem like something innocent, you got to remember there's certain players in the game who play a position. And that's what I'm saying. It's simple. And I'm going to use football because that's what I know best. All right. So you got the running back and the quarterback. You understand the middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. So even though he's on the opposition side and he's not in control of anything as the quarterback is to handing off to the running back or throwing a pass, he's still an effective player that leads the defense. And there's many moving parts, right? You have the front line, you have the cornerback, you have the free safety. Like it's too many different parts. So let's look at it this way: the cornerback's a gang, the front line's a gang, the free safety's a gang, the middle linebacker has his gang right next to him, one on each side. It's a dangerous concept. It's a dangerous thing to play with these guys who are known for violence, who lived in violence. And I mean, not like the environment where we have things going on here and there. I mean, the number one murder capital in the nation almost. I mean, they had more deaths than Iraq, the Iraq war early on into the years when we first seen Chief Keef and them blowing up. These guys survived the war. That's what you got to understand. The way their perception is, the way it's built around them, they survived the war in a war-torn environment. But New York isn't a war-torn environment like Chicago was. And when I say that, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about literally the environment and what makes up the environment that people are able to maneuver around. These guys are used to maneuvering a few blocks from their enemy comfortably, getting to their destination, getting back, sometimes doing war and still making it back because they're still here. This is a different type of animal. That's the only way I could put it. So if we look at the football year and we're going to say that, yeah, the Oakland Raiders were good, but they weren't better than the Titans this year. You know what I mean? Just hypothetically, the Titans is its own gang. So that middle linebacker maneuvers different than the Oakland Raiders middle linebacker, but it doesn't mean he's not good. And it doesn't mean just because they're on two different teams in a certain area that they can't communicate. Being what 6ix9ine's worth, it is just financially beneficial if something would happen to him in Chicago by any of these leaders' hands. So there are going to be a lot of people who are normally opposition that are going to be up to the task of dealing with 6ix9ine. So you're literally going to bring peace to a couple of gangs if their initiative is to take you out. That's why I was saying in this situation, your winning strategy, it's a good thought because it worked before, but you're dealing with loyal savages, okay? And when I say loyal savages, I'm not talking about loyal to everyone around them, but they're loyal to their guys because they stood through wars with these guys, pure warfare with some of these guys. They, as a unit, they stood against death and lived it. That creates a certain bond that no words or no type of money could take away because, we've been through life and death together. We've been through the trenches together. We've been through the worst of times. They probably shared meals at one point in time when they didn't have the money and clout they have now. There's no way there's anything that can separate something like that unless it is an animal of the same type. And what I mean is someone else who may have grew up like them, around them, was hanging out with them, and now he has an issue. So all over China Doll and Tado's love for China Doll, these guys are ready to not only make a no-fly zone for you in a very violent and dangerous city, but also put you up on a pedestal to be shot off. So, I mean, right now, it's not smart trying to make allies with a bunch of these guys because you let one of them see how you move, and I guarantee that they'll easily be able to pick apart your defense and figure out how they can get you because, again, they lived, grew, sleep, eat, breathed in warfare, lost loved ones, lost direct people in mass amounts, people they loved. So their hearts are not warm. It's not a warm, fuzzy feeling you're going to get from an ally. It's going to be a cold-hearted, strategic It's not smart. It's not smart. And to mention their block and stuff, you know that they literally have allegedly had war with people over just mentioning their street, saying that they were smoking packs on people using their name, using their gang. This is not a smart idea. If you're gonna go war with these guys, don't poke at the beast. Okay? You just do war with the beast. You don't keep poking it and dancing around it like you're Muhammad Ali. That's not going to work. They're not going to accept that. And it's only going to make them more aggressive and pursuing you. This is not good. Lil Reese spoke up. Rondo number 9 spoke up. And I know you're trying to make well with Lil Durk, but it's Lil Reese and Rondo number 9 over everything. He's not going to sit there and put you over them. Like, unless you provide a financially beneficial level of support that he'll never have again in life. And I don't see you doing that for him being the level of artist he already is, and the amount of his boys that are involved who have clout and notoriety around the nation right now. So this is about to make a turn for the worse unless you figure out an alternative strategy to combat the instance of you no-fly zoning in Chicago. Prepare for the worst, man. That's where it's at now. All rights reserved.